Welcome to Season 3 of the Take the Leap podcast. We want to thank you for being a part of this journey with us.
Whether you're just starting to tune in or you're a longtime listener of the podcast, you can expect to hear from entrepreneurs in all stages of their journey, how they got to where they are, and all the mistakes and victories they've had along the way.
We're excited to share new guests and have some returning folks from our first 2 seasons. Thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back, everyone, to the Take the Leap podcast. Tori, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Good. I am glad. I just had a meeting that was supposed to be directly after this get moved, which I'm like, I don't know. People always apologize for moving meetings, and I'm like, that's just magic mystery time that I get back.
I love when people cancel meetings. A client recently was like, I have a headache. I can't make our meeting. And I was like, ma'am, I am not mad at you.
Mhm.
She was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I am not mad at you. I get time back in my schedule.
Yeah.
Also feel better.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But great. Well, we are here today to recap our conversation with Alayna, which I know we had talked to her so long ago. I was just like, oh, it's fun that we get to remember everything that we chatted about. And I know that one of the things that is on both of our lists is to go visit the Herringbone bookstore in Redmond,
Yes.
Oregon, because
Yes.
we love and are obsessed with books always and forever. But yeah, looking back at that episode, one of the things that I really loved that we covered with her was that entrepreneurship provides us with the opportunity to control more in our life, and not like that negative control aspect, but to look at the things that you can have more time and space for. I know that like one of the things we dove into was just like more free time with our family, being able to like really wrap ourselves around what matters during our day to day. And then also remembering like the things that you can't control. Like we have no control over what is happening in the economy, or, well, I don't want to get political. I know a lot of political things have been happening right now, but like just looking at what is in that sphere of influence that you have and really honing into that in your entrepreneurship as well. And yeah, I know that that's one of the things that I really love is that my schedule can look different every day, and I can move and migrate it depending on like what I'm feeling at the time, or if I want to take like a break. I think was that last week there was a moment the other day where a meeting got canceled on my schedule, and I was like, hey, let's go do that grocery shopping that we didn't get to so that we have food for dinner when we come back home, sort of thing, which was really nice to have that opportunity. So yeah, what about you?
Yeah, well, and I think I obviously agree with the flexibility, especially like being a mom now, and becoming a mom during this process. Like, obviously I didn't get paid maternity leave, but I did get, so, that was, maybe a con there, but like I did get to be flexible in choosing when I could go back to work and when I could, when I should work, and like, um, being flexible and scheduling that around my son as he's grown up and who's now in preschool. And I think the other piece to this too is kind of what you were saying earlier about that. I think she talked a lot about how things were in her control now. So she talked about how when she first opened her business, it was the week that COVID started. And because she did that, she was able to respond to what was happening, not just by getting lots of clients and helping people virtually, but it her head like she was like sorry, words, I'm trying, like my brain is working and then like me trying to like talk,
say the thing.
I feel like that happens a lot. But she was saying that it was really nice to be able to control what I could, because otherwise if I had worked for a company, they would be making the decisions in that environment of like, do we work, do we not work, do we lay people off, do we respond to things appropriately, or do we not, and just keep powering through. And she's like, I had control over that, even though it was scary. She could make the decisions that felt true to her.
Yeah.
And so I
Having that
think
agency
yeah,
over your own is really a nice
exactly.
a luxury, even if it does feel scary to make certain decisions.
I agree, and not everybody is, cool with that. Like, some
Mhm,
people
mhm.
want that structure and they want somebody else to make that decision, but I think all of us, control freaks or, like, people who maybe struggle with anxiety a little bit, or people who are neurodivergent, or, whatever, the list goes on and on. I feel like some of us really do well under that kind of pressure because we are given the autonomy and the agency to be able to make those decisions. And I think the truth is that there are things that you're never going to be able to fully control in your industry, in the world, in the economy, in our country,
Yeah.
but you can control how you react to them
Mhm,
instead of just going along with what somebody else tells you to do. And again, that road might not be for everybody,
mhm.
but um I think that's why a lot of us entrepreneurs become entrepreneurs is because of that agency.
That we want that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, autonomy was one of the biggest things that I valued working for other people is like, just let me do it the way that I want to do it. You
exactly.
don't need to micromanage me. You don't need to tell me. You need to tell me what your
Mhm.
goal is and like let me figure out the path to get there because
Exactly.
it'll just be easier that way.
I always worked the best with bosses who were like that, who were like, "Yeah, just go figure it out and then report back when you have something."
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
those were the best relationships I had.
absolutely. Another thing that she said, which I really, really, really like this, is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think that that
Yeah.
is just definitely something that I have led with. In fact, one of the reasons I was a little late to hopping on today was being able to catch up with a client who she actually came here in November for like a wedding conference, and then like just because of like the holidays and not being able to get back together, like it's the end of January right now and we finally hopped on together to like debrief everything. And, I did tell her, I was just like, sorry, we haven't been able to like navigate this, but, like I am 100% team you. Like I'm here, I'm on your team. We're going to work this out together. Like it doesn't matter. And I'm really excited for some of the stuff that we are planning and coming up with this year. And yeah, I think that is one thing that I valued with a lot of my clients is that like I do give a shit. I give lots of shits
Yeah.
about what you are doing. And I think it makes me a better worker. And also just, I mean, we've had this conversation with a lot of the entrepreneurs that we've had on the podcast, which is like having people who are values aligned and being willing to like, not within, not in like a scope creep kind of way, but being willing to like do whatever it takes to like fulfill that with them, I think is really, really important as well. And yeah, I think that
Exactly.
it's helpful in any industry that you're doing. I've even seen it with like some entrepreneurs where like they lose that sense of caring with like the client group that they're working with. And I feel like that's just such a one, it's a big like red flag signal to yourself that maybe what you're
Mhm.
doing is not your calling anymore. But
Yeah.
also, it also doesn't make me want to work with you if you're like, you don't even value like what you're doing and offering as a service anymore. Like it's hard to back a losing horse, if that makes sense. As well. So
That's so true. I think everything you just said is so spot on, and I think you think about like agencies, right? Like
mhm.
a lot of small businesses might try their marketing help by hiring an agency, and it does feel like, oh, they've got a lot of clients. They don't really
Yeah.
care about us. And
Mhm.
then, working with more like solopreneurs and entrepreneurs who have smaller marketing services, like yeah, like that's kind of what you get when you hire people like us, is people who will
Mhm.
like care about you and your business. But it also does work both ways, to your point. Like you have to care
About what
about
you're
what you
doing.
do
Mhm.
too, because that's where like the magic is. And when you pair a partnership like that, whether it's marketing services or
Mhm.
anything else that has to do with your business, right? Like
Mhm.
if when you find somebody who has similar values to you, who cares about, their work and cares about you, and vice versa. That's like where the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a good point too. I mean, I have so many horror stories from like the agencies that I worked at where people were basically, I mean, it felt like you were an invoice number. And I
Hmm.
always hated when they did like the client transfer of like, hey, here's all the new people, and just like basically botching that handoff because,
Yeah.
well, one, I feel like part of it too is like being a woman and like appearing to be like younger and like less, I don't know. I feel like a lot of men like they hear our voices and they're like, you're 12. I'm like, I'm not. I've been doing this for a really long time. But like that kind of aspect of it also of like not handing it off great or like explaining to them why their account is being moved off of somebody, especially if they've been working with that person for like years. And it
Yeah.
makes them feel like, oh, you're giving me to this like junior associate who doesn't know, or like, I don't know. I feel like that can always be explained better to clients of like why the shift is happening, or like, you know, there are times where it just has to happen because so and so is leaving the company, but then there's other times where like they're still there and just kind of explaining, you know, what the deal is. Like so and so got promoted, we're really excited, but I feel like sometimes that gets like hush hush to clients, and it's like if we be a little bit more transparent, it's
Hmm.
more helpful for everybody.
Agreed. And I think, it also points back to that point, to your earlier point about autonomy. Like, if you're getting moved off of a client account and you don't necessarily want to be because you've been with them for 10 years or
Right.
whatever, but it's for whatever reasons behind the scenes, like, again, like, being an entrepreneur and like running your own business is one way where you kind of get that back. You get to
Hmm.
choose how to work with clients. But I do feel like it's really interesting. Like, I've never come from that agency side, but
Hmm.
I know a lot of people who've worked for agencies, and it does feel like it does feel like a different beast. And I feel like sometimes they get a bad rep because like with small business owners, it does really feel like sometimes they're just paying and like for services, but they don't really get to know them or their business
Hmm.
the way that, they need to. And I think it's different when you are marketing for a large corporation or even a
Hmm.
medium-sized corporation than it is for a small business. Like, there's a different strategy, and you have to really be present and understand that business to be able to give them results. And
Hmm.
sometimes that requires a little more boots on the ground too. And I think that is the benefit to working with people like us,
Hmm.
because, you know, we have the capacity to care.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not just an invoice number, or
Yeah.
yeah, you're human. You get to be human with us.
Yeah. I think that's so important in this day and age, being human.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. The last one, which made me crack up because you and I talk about systems all the time,
Yeah.
which was the best systems are the ones you will actually use.
Yes.
So I have definitely seen this with some folks who overbuild and overcomplicate their
Oh, yeah.
systems. You know, like I save a lot of stuff digitally just because it's there, but then you know me, I handwrite a lot of stuff too. And so I think it's just, you know, having that physical thing helps me remember it better. But yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people get sold like these very, very detailed operational plans, or like, oh, you have to put it here and here and here. And yeah, I think that it's just as you become an entrepreneur and as you go into things, like you will pull in a lot of like thoughts and ideas and different things from different folks, but you need to spend that kind of like reflective time evaluating like, am I actually doing the thing that is correct, you know, that is working for me? Or one thing that I have done recently is really doing those time blocks. Before we hopped on, I told you, I was like, yes, I've put our Take the Leap production schedule into my calendar. So I'm not rushing to get episodes out, and I'm not, you know, like being behind on doing kind of like the prep work that both you and I need to make these episodes awesome. And so, yeah, I think that that I am, 5 years in, entering year 6, finally figuring out like exactly the things that work best for me, and then trying to just like lean into those systems. But I think one of the biggest things is just allowing yourself time to enter information and to like use through it. Cause I think a lot of times when we're rushing or like, not giving ourselves space or giving ourselves that pause time, it's not going to work overall.
Exactly. And I think, there's something to be said for like simplifying your systems too. Like there's a lot of software out there, there's a lot of different ideas, but like if it's too complicated, you're probably never going to use it. And so I think, yeah, I think a case could be made for that. And I'm I'm laughing a little bit because my husband helped me set up a system that will like it's like part CRM, part like project management kind of a thing.
Mhm.
And it is really nice. And every day he's been coming in here. Did you are you in your new system? Are you using the system? Is that up
Oh,
there?
now I have to ask, what did he set up for you? What tool?
Listen, I don't know. Um
I love you. I love this for you. Also, very nice of Justin, but I feel like y'all have different brains.
We have very different
Yeah.
brains. And it's like he set up like he made like a domain go to it. So like I
Oh,
don't
nice.
type in like a company. Like that's why I can't think of what it's called off the top of
Got it.
my head. It's
Got
called
it.
something. But it also like sends like I can send proposals through it, like which was like the main
Oh,
selling point for
cool.
me
Nice. Nice.
because I needed a different like the Google one I was using just wasn't like
Wasn't
always
doing it.
getting delivered, and
Oh,
yeah, it was
interesting.
weird. So anyway, like it does all that and then like has like a client profile so that I can like track projects in there
Nice.
and send them stuff and everything. It's really cool. Maybe I'll figure out what it is and we can put it in
And
the
you
show
have to
notes in
message.
case
Yeah,
any
yeah.
yeah,
And
in
people are
case
looking
anyone's
for
interested.
something. Yeah. Yeah. I love
It's
it.
really great. And he put all this work into it and then he keeps reminding me, "Well, did you complete that task in the management system that I sent you?"
That's so cute.
It's very helpful.
Yeah. I've just done a Notion like overhaul. I'm working with somebody who's
Yeah.
like a Notion design. I think
That's really nice.
Notion designer, but yeah, it's
I
a lot
really
of
want to
build on the
be
front end.
I
Yeah.
really want to be a Notion person, and I have a Notion account, and I've tried at multiple points in my business to become a Notion person. I don't know why my brain just does not work that way. Like
Yeah.
I have the hardest time. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like it's just I don't
I
know what's so
mean,
different
I
about
will
it.
say you can overcomplicate it. Like a lot of the templates
Mhm.
that I get from Micah at Markeba Tech, which if you want to be a Notion person, we'll put stuff in the show notes about Micah's company. But it I a lot of times delete things out of there where I'm like one of them. I understand the value of doing it. So like one of them is like to do the Eisenhower matrix, like the urgent, or important thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if everything in my brain, like everything at some point has to be done. So like it doesn't feel urgent, but it is all important. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to delete this. I was like, I'm using too much executive function trying to figure out what bucket
What
category to
bucket
put
it
it
is,
in.
yeah.
And then the other one that he had in there was like, how many spoons is it? Which is like 4 spoons means like it uses a lot of energy. 1 spoon means it like
That's
uses a
kind of
little bit of
cool.
energy, which is really cool. But I was just like, yep, again, too much executive function
Too
to
much
figure that out.
thinking, yeah.
So the one thing that I have left in there, which I think is really helpful, is like how much time will this take me? So like, is
Mhm.
this a 5 minute task? Is this, an hour? Do I need to like, be able to block an hour? And so that has
That
helped
is
me
helpful.
because I will go to that task list and I'll be like if we finished early, I'd be like, hey, I have this much, time. Like, what can I just get off the list that would fit in that time?
That's smart.
So yeah.
I'm also
Yeah.
a really big fan of grouping tasks together. So if
Yes.
you have like 5 or 10 like 5-minute tasks each, like
Mm-hmm.
just seeing how many you can knock out,
Yeah.
or like if you have a couple of like heavier things and you have like a whole afternoon, just like blocking off the afternoon to only tackle those like
Mm-hmm.
big things because you have the time and the focus, like that tends to work really well for me. So I think that's a cool idea to be able to like group things that way.
Yeah. I do that a lot of times, like either like, yeah, grouping similar stuff where I'm in the same system, or just grouping it by client, being like,
Mhm.
okay, we're going to try to get as many, as many things done for this client in this 1 hour block. And then if we need another
Smart.
one, because yeah, I feel like I burn a lot of energy task switching or like client switching
Yeah,
as well. Yeah. Yeah.
same. I don't have a perfect system yet, but
Nope.
I think I don't even know that anybody does, right? Like it evolves as we evolve
Mhm.
too, and as our businesses evolve. But I loved that conversation. It's a conversation that will always be relevant.
Mhm.
And the only advice I have, the only thing that's like really started to like click with me and work with me is making sure that your system is simple enough for you to use.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like ADHD brains will always
Yeah,
battle the system, the system too,
always.
especially if you overcomplicate it. It'll be
Yeah,
like, nope, we're gonna go back or just not have anything.
exactly.
So yeah, awesome. Well, let's transition now to our favorite segment of our solo
Yes.
episodes. Tori, what is one of your wins for this week?
Yes. Okay, so we started doing this oh, excuse me, recently. We started doing this recently, but while my kid is in preschool, on his preschool days, my husband has a gym membership, and then he also has like a buddy pass. And like I go to like a mom workout class like throughout the week, so I didn't need to get like a gym membership, but I was like, "Oh, hey, I should just start coming with you on preschool days. That would be really fun." And I usually do something different like lifting weights because that's not something I do in my
In the
other
mommy, yeah,
workout
yeah.
class. Yeah. And so yeah, we've been going together like on lunch breaks, and he'll do his workout, I'll do mine. I always listen to an audiobook during this time.
Nice.
And then we come back and I keep working. And it's amazing. And I don't know, there's just something like, even though him and I don't like really hang out at the gym, like it's not like we're talking or like hang out, like we always like talk on the way there and like, have
Mhm.
fun on the way home. And then if we have time, we'll eat lunch together. And if not, we'll like come home and make lunch real quick and then like go back to our desks. But it's just like, it's like another little thing that we've started doing together that we don't have like a lot of like one-on-one time
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now because life
Yeah. I was
and
gonna say kid
being a
comes home
parent.
and then you have a
Exactly.
three human time.
Exactly. So it's just it's been really fun. It's been a win, and
Yay.
I feel like I'm doing something productive with my body too,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
adding like a different way of moving my body that I'm not during the rest
Getting.
of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that for you guys. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. What about you?
Very similar. So I started doing strength training with a local personal trainer here. I want her to change the name of it because I feel like it doesn't. It. I think she calls it like semi-private training, and I'm like, you should just call it like community, like training in community. So she has folks who have been working with her for a really long time, and then she has like folks who are newer, but I'm gonna start going. I have them all booked out. I'm starting to go Monday afternoons and Wednesday, or not Wednesday, Friday mornings. And oh my God, Tori, the first I started on a leg day and I was so sore the next day. And so like
I love that kind of sore
yeah.
though. That's my
Yeah. No, it
favorite
was
kind
a
of sore.
really
Yeah.
good kind of sower. And like I got to push one of those like sled things with the weights on it. So like
Ooh.
she does it out of her house. So her garage is set up as a gym. But yeah, so we've been going to do that. And the whole goal is to do more like weightlifting and strength training. So like yesterday was arms, which I was a little sore this morning, but it's actually like not as like throughout the day I'm not feeling as sore, which is great for like recovery time. But yeah, it just like I had been going to the gym and like definitely not feeling sore. So I will say it's like kick my ass time with Rose. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to do that. And she is GLP-1 like training certified too. So I'm able to like ask her a bunch of different questions about that as well, which has been
That's
really
really
lovely.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
supporting a
really cool.
small women owned business here in Vegas, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible.
so yeah,
That's
she
awesome.
asked me the other day, she's like, "Do you want to increase a day?" And I was like, "Let's see if I can just do 2 a week and like how disruptive that is." Because I am planning, I'm going to tell John that you and Justin have been going because I'm trying to get him to go with me. The other days of the week, I'm just going to go do cardio at the gym instead of
Mhm.
weightlifting, and she's going to be like my weightlifting days. Which yeah, I'm
I
stoked
like
about
that.
it. You know.
That's really
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Look at us. We're getting strong.
Yeah, I know, right? It's January. We
It's
gotta keep
January.
up with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All
I
right.
love it.
And with that, what is your do better for this week?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. And because I don't have I have no shame. Like I'm just gonna tell you about all the times that I embarrass myself. And so today, I had my therapy call earlier today and I was falling asleep in the middle of my therapy call. I'm the one talking. Like because I was so tired. And so, like, granted, my son got me up really early this morning. It was a thing. And then during this point in the therapy session, like it just, it was towards the end and I was falling asleep. But listen, I need to be better at sleeping. And part of it is because of my toddler.
Hmm.
But there's a big chunk of it that's because of me, and it's, like, my anxiety brain, and I'm, like,
Hmm.
not doing all of the things that I should be doing to, like,
To get
shut things
there.
down.
Yep.
Like, I've
Hmm.
been doom scrolling, I have been, like, reading late at night, I've been like, I'm not doing the things to take
Yeah.
care of myself,
The sleep
and, like
hygiene routine. Yeah. It's
right,
hard.
which I
It's
know
so
I
hard.
know what I need to do to get back to that. So, when you couple that with, not falling asleep till, like, midnight or later, and then having my son wake me up, like, a few hours later, um,
Oof.
like, it
Yeah.
just doesn't mix
It's a
well.
recipe for disaster.
It is,
For sure.
it means that I'm falling asleep in my therapy
For this.
call, apparently.
Yeah.
So, don't be like me. That is the thing I need to work on because obviously I can't control when my toddler is going to have a really early morning, but I can control when I go to bed
Yeah. So that you
and at
can
least
prepare
try
yourself.
to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't always fix the insomnia part, but I can at least try,
Hmm.
And I haven't
Hmm.
really even I haven't even been attempting to lately. So
Yeah, we've been cheating and we have been using edibles, and it has
there you
been
go. There you go.
so lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
What about you? I take it you have not been falling asleep in therapy.
No, no, no,
What's
no,
something you
definitely
wanna
not.
work on?
So you had told me about it when you took it a while back. So I did Paya's better email inbox management
Mm,
thing, which is I have the priority inbox set up and all of the all of the different things, which does feel lovely. Now it's just getting through the items. So
yeah.
like I have put them in the container, and I almost feel like it's like, cool, you live there now. And now I have to like open it and actually start going through stuff. So that is my do better, is like everything that is marked an action item, like making sure that it's gone through and getting done and all of that. But
That
yeah.
was my biggest adjustment too. And
Yeah.
also the urge to just be like, well, control alt delete. Like if
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
exist, I
Then
don't have
it's
to
not
do
there.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
So many
love
things.
that class though that she gave, that workshop was a light
Hmm.
like I've never thought about organizing my emails that way and it was so cool.
Yes.
Like it really helped me. Like I had close to like 1,000 emails that I just none of not like probably only 30 of them were things I actually had to do
Hmm.
something with, but like just, the accumulation of everything because
Yeah.
I've been so busy or whatever at that time of
Hmm.
year that I just wasn't good about like keeping up with like
Yeah.
removing the spam and removing the ones that I didn't need and like deleting stuff when I was like a big project with like 20 chains,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
and when I was done with it, I didn't delete it. So all everything was just sitting in my
Yeah.
inbox.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, I think the one that really helped me too is like there's the take action bucket and then there's like the waiting on. That one is
Yeah.
huge because that's
Yeah.
I find that I forget sometimes. People are like, "Oh, you should have just reminded me." And I'm like, "Dude, when I send the email out to you, it's like hot potato. The hot potato
Yeah.
is now in your
It is now
hands."
your
I was like, "Yeah."
responsibility.
I was like, "If the grenade blows up in your hands, it's really not my
Exactly.
fault."
I know, I know. I've had a couple
Yeah.
clients say that to me too, like, "Oh, if you don't hear back from me, just please remind me." And I'm like,
You don't pay me enough for that.
"Yeah, I'm like, listen, like, of course, like, if I think about it or, like, if it's been a while and I'm waiting to, like, move something forward, like, I'm
Forward.
gonna
Yeah.
follow up with you, but, like, if I'm waiting on a response from you and it's not urgent, like, I'm not like, you can't put all the reminders on me, like,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
a personal assistant."
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. So our last little bit. What is a piece of media content that you've been digging this week?
okay, I just finished an excellent book. It's the first book in a series. So the book is called The Fifth Season. It's part of, I think it's called the Broken World
Ooh,
trilogy.
nice.
The A Broken World, the Broken, I'm pretty sure. And it's by N.K. Jemisin. And first introduction to this author, incredible. Like the writing is outstanding. It's amazing.
Nice.
The story is really like heavy. It's really like there's parts that are really sad. There's a lot of trauma, a lot of oppression. Um, but it's told really well and it's really well done. And
Nice.
um I'm definitely it was came by a recommendation and I'm definitely going to finish the series now. So anyway, highly recommend if you're into fantasy. It's I would say like I think it's classified as fantasy, but I'd also kind of feel like it's a bit of science fiction.
Sci-fi. Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like those lines are always
Yeah,
blurred.
always a
Yeah.
little blurry. This one definitely has like a leaning that way. And it's I don't normally like if somebody hadn't told me to read it, I probably
Wouldn't
just
have
based
picked it
off
up.
the description probably wouldn't have picked it up, but I'm really glad that I did.
Nice. I'll add it to
And
my
now I
list.
kind of want to read everything else by
Everything else by
her. So,
her. Yeah.
yeah. So what about you? What have you been into?
We have been rewatching the original Game of Thrones series
Ooh.
because they have that new the the
Oh yeah,
night
that new
whatever the new one
spinoff or
is,
whatever.
whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah, we're like, we should probably remind ourselves about this stuff. And I think the House of the Dragon is supposed to be starting again too. But yeah, we've been really into like just putting older stuff in the background and like it was
Yeah.
funny because I think we're in season 4 already. So we're like about halfway through. And we were like, oh my God, we forgot how fucked up this show gets like pretty rapidly. So
I've never made it past season 1. Like, I've never even gotten to the end of season
oh,
1. Every time I've tried to watch it,
mhm.
like, a couple of episodes in, I've stopped.
Yeah.
And
It's a
then
lot of
everyone's like it's
world building and
yeah,
things like that. Yeah.
and everyone says that the ending of it just sucks so bad. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, what is the incentive then to
Yeah.
watch
Because
this?
he hadn't written it. I still don't think he's written like the actual ending to the
Of the
book.
books?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think so. I can't remember. I know I do have them like I think the first 4 or 5 on my Kindle. One thing, so the first round, like the first time we watched it through, it was actually really helpful to get me to read like the rest of the first 4 books that were out because it gave me visualizations of what the characters looked like. So I did like that because I was like, oh, now I have a vision of what these, because it's so many people in the book. But the other thing I was going to say about it too is Pedro Pascal shows up in season 4, and that's literally what I've
He
been
does?
holding. Yeah, that's his. No, it's been out long enough. If you haven't watched it yet, it's not my fault that I'm saying this. He eventually dies, and I'm like,
I figured
how
everybody
much
does.
Pedro am I gonna get? Yeah, it's literally the main reason I've been wanting to watch it is for Pedro moments. So shout out to Mary
That's
and
incredible.
more Pedro. Um,
That's
but yeah,
incredible.
yeah. Well,
Well,
it's good to chat with you about this stuff,
me too.
and good to see
Thanks for
you. And
another great episode.
yeah, And as usual, folks, you know how to get a hold of us. There will be a little thing after our episode ends telling you all about it, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for listening.
Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Take the Leap podcast. Check out our show notes to connect with us and our guests. If you have questions about the episode or ideas for future topics, send us a direct message on Instagram or email us at aloha@taketheleap-today.com. If you're interested in being a guest, fill out the guest interest form on our website.
If you're a new entrepreneur who is looking for a roadmap to move your business idea forward, check out the Take the Leap course on our website, taketheleap-today.com. Members who join the course also have an opportunity to join us in bi-weekly co-working and group coaching calls to build momentum and work on your business.
And if you'd like a flavor of what we offer, sign up for our free webinar with the 9 essential steps you need to launch your business with clarity and confidence. See you next time.